right? As far away from any useful application as possible. Now, it's also a classification problem. And you have attributes and their values, and whether and the classes, the two classes are yes, this guy will wait, and no, this guy won't wait. If I want to learn the underlying pattern in this, the test data for this would be a new scenario where all these attributes have values, and you're trying to predict whether this guy will wait in the restaurant, wait for the table or not. Okay. This is just a generalization. I mean, this is similar to other things like fraud, credit card fraud, and so on. Okay. So what it turns out is that you can try to learn patterns. There are patterns here, and you're trying to learn them. So, for example, I just learned a pattern that pretty much I think this is true in all these examples. That whenever there is nobody in the restaurant and there is a non-trivial waiting time, I won't wait for the table. It's like below my dignity, because they're trying to insult me, saying, there's nobody, we are losing money, still we won't seat you, okay? So I won't wait. So that's a pattern I found. So the question is, if I learn these patterns, then in fact I can look at the entire new example and just look at that pattern and say, because of that, the class is this. Okay, now if I learn these patterns, how do I express them? So I have some sort of internal representation in which I express these patterns, and when the new example comes, I check the example against these patterns, and if it satisfies them, I'll give it a class. There. Now it turns out that there are humongous number of internal representations that you can learn. Okay, you can learn them exactly like what I said. If pattern is equal to full and day equal to Friday, then I am likely to wait with pretty high probability. Okay, or I can write it as a decision tree where are there any patterns? None. If there is none, I'm not going to wait. Okay? If the restaurant is, if there are only few patterns, then I will wait because eventually I'll get a table. If it's full, then I want to decide, in this case, this is what I learned. If it's full, then I want to decide whether it is the cuisine of my type, or what is the estimate of waiting. And after the estimate, is there an alternate? After that, is there a bar? And based on that, I'll finally decide whether I'll sit in this restaurant or not. So the pattern I found was written as a set of association rules here, as a decision tree here. Okay. I can also write it as a Bayes network, which we'll talk about as to what it is later on. You can write it as neural networks, which is another kind of a structure. Okay. So you can write. Basically, you're looking for patterns in this data and writing it in some language. This language is your bias. You're looking for patterns that can be expressed in this versus in this versus in this versus in that. Suppose it turns out that there is no simple pattern in the data. Nothing simple test is not going to tell you whether you're going to wait or not wait. Then decision trees are not going to be good. Suppose it turns out that your decision to wait or not wait is some sort of a weighted combination of all those attributes. Then in decision tree, all the branches would be equal length, which is a kind of a useless decision tree. Okay? And this will, on the other hand, be better. So the question would be, what kind of data are you likely to have? Based on that, you will then focus on learning that kind of representation. And without giving too much away, next class when I come back, I'll say that we have this kind of a thing. So a spam mail is not spam because there's a magic word in it saying I am spam. Spam mail is spam because a whole bunch of things increase its spamness, a whole bunch of things reduce its spamness. The total spamness is above a threshold, so you throw it. Okay, I'll stop here. Please help yourself with more stuff to eat.